So, DancingMoto, you alright there, buddy? You doing good? Because it seems like you really f***ed yourself, buddy. Yeah, you really f***ed yourself. Made it really bad for all of us other bikers. Changing the perception on other people that are outside of our community and looking at us like we're stupid. It's honestly making me livid how people like this are giving bikers a bad name, and it's not making me happy at all that this is what bikers are being portrayed as. When I saw the original post on Reddit of you allegedly running from GSP in the rain with minimal gear on, no gloves, and just a compression shirt, doesn't really give us bikers a good look, does it? Especially when you try to avert the blame onto other people by making a GoFundMe. Are we dead ass? Are you serious right now? I have no words. No, I used to watch your stuff, and I still honestly kind of do, and I think this isn't something that should be held over your head all the time. I don't think this is the end of the world. I don't think you killed somebody. But I think what you did was really stupid. Again, it's portraying us bikers as some sort of law-ignoring cretins that just do whatever we want all the time. I want anybody who's watching this video who doesn't know what's going on to understand that not all bikers are like this. But I figured I had to say something, because if I didn't, then we have something wrong with us. I want to be very clear that I don't excuse behavior like this. Now, if you guys don't know who DancingMoto is, DancingMoto is a TikToker / Instagram Reels creator who makes dancing videos where he wears his helmet and dances in front of a motorcycle. Great, great content. I follow him. He seems like a great kid. Now, if you don't know him, I've rode with whateva a couple times. He's already made a video regarding this subject. His take on it was extremely personalized because he knows DancingMoto. Actually, believe it or not, the first person to show me the video of his crash was whateva. When I first saw that, I had many questions that popped up into my head immediately. Why are you running? What made you run? Also, why are we running in the rain? Is that like something we do now? I don't think any of us should run, but if you're gonna run, why are you running in the rain? And from GSP. And then when I go on Reddit and I see people commenting saying, oh, this kid deserved it, good for the cop, W cop. I don't think he deserved getting ran over. I don't think he deserved getting pitted into, but I do think he had what coming to him. He is now facing the consequences of his actions, and I think that that's necessary. I don't agree that he should have been hit. I don't agree that he should have been injured. However, again, when you put yourself in a risky situation, stuff's gonna happen. Riding these things already is risky, but then adding another extreme layer of risk by running from police in no gear with stolen plates. I don't know. I sound like a broken record right now because I want to put it in people's heads that not all bikers are like this. I don't think what he did was excusable, but I think it's still redeemable. Big difference there. And just moving on from all that, you'd think this kid would learn from his mistakes. Maybe, we don't know. But no, this motherfucker goes ahead and makes himself a GoFundMe. Get that. A GoFundMe. For what? From whateva's perspective, and what he told me was that he did have some injuries, but most of it was road rash. How are you going to make a GoFundMe for road rash that you got by yourself from the actions that you did, and putting the responsibility of your actions onto somebody else? And I know you've heard that from other people already, probably, but it just blows my mind that you decide to run from the police. Oh no, what's gonna happen? I ran from the cops. I hope they don't pit maneuver me. And then that's exactly what happens. And then you crash and you slide and your skin's just off. Kind of a grotesque and violent thing to think about, right? Then you go to the hospital and you don't have health insurance, and then you make a GoFundMe. Really? Man, I really used to like your videos, and I still do. I think they're great. I think they're entertaining. When I'm doom scrolling, on my phone, I stop what I'm doing because I watch your stuff. I like to read the comments especially, but still. Brother, please don't do this again. Please. I'm begging you. I don't like the idea of us as in bikers, being perceived as somebody that do these things on the regular. Running from the cops is so stupid, and I can't stress this enough. If you're not riding yet, or if you want to buy a motorcycle, please do yourself a favor. Understand that these things absolutely can run from the police, but that does not mean you should. Like, oh no, biker runs on an R7 with no gear from GSP in the rain and gets surprised when he gets mauled by that cop's SUV. Oh, guys, I can't believe this happened. I need money. People like DancingMoto are the reason that there's so much stigma behind these machines. I don't like that. I don't appreciate it. We all like to go fast on these things sometimes, but if you want to go fast, there's ways to do it. There's legal ways to do it. There are tracks, there are drag strips, there's places you can unleash these beasts so that you can have the fun and they could be used to their full potential. Public streets and public freeways are not for that. Now I get it. If it's 3 a.m. and there's nobody on the road, you're just alone. You want to do a couple pulls? Sure, nothing wrong with that. If a tree falls in the woods and no one hears it, is it really sound? I don't like talking about things that don't directly affect me, right? Obviously, him making a GoFundMe doesn't directly offend me. Him crashing necessarily directly affect me. But when you have a group of people, usually younger people, who get access to a lot of power all of a sudden, power being these machines, and they don't know how to handle it, they usually don't do things correctly or safely. So what that does is it gives these things horrible image to older generations, or even people in my generation who are like, oh no, I'd never get a bike, I don't want to die. DancingMoto is one of those people who portray that vision onto other non-riders. That's the reason that I'm livid about this. So now another thing that I want to bring up is that nothing is truly lost here. It's redeemable. Let's move on to the police side of the situation. I'm also going to be blatantly honest here and say that I don't think the policing was in check as well. I think that was a horrible use of power, and I do think that maybe if it was an accident, that it shouldn't be pursued as an issue, but if it was not an accident, did I just say that twice? If it was an accident, then it should not be pursued. But if it is found that the guy pitted DancingMoto on purpose, then I do believe that he should face consequences for such a thing. Again, still does not excuse him from running from the cops, but the point that I made earlier is if you're walking around in the hood at 3 a.m. with a clear bag full of $100 bills, you know, you're kind of inherently gonna see some potential consequences for your actions. Needless to say, and I will reiterate, this guy does not represent who we are as a community, and that's the point that I'm mostly trying to get across. Another thing that I completely forgot about is that he was running on stolen plates. That definitely added to the situation here. What I'm hoping comes from this is that this guy won't do any more GoFundMe. That'll actually take the consequences for his actions as he should. Because I don't like to ride around and then some 40-year-old mom comes up to me and says, you know that's dangerous, right? You know one of my friends died on those, right? Truth be told, these things are very, very dangerous. However, what makes them insanely more dangerous is how people ride them and what people do when they're on the seat of these powerful machines. So if anything can be learned from this video, it's don't run from the cops. Don't run from the cops in the rain if you are gonna run. Wear your gear. Dress for the slide and not for the ride. More so importantly, bikers, stop doing things that are gonna make us look bad. I'm tired of going around and getting yelled at for just riding. That's pretty much all I have to say about the situation. I figured I'd say something, like I had to say something. I also don't want anybody to go and spew hate towards the guy. I don't think that he's all that bad. I just want him to understand that the way he's going about creating is not the best way. It's not the safest way, and honestly, it makes us look really bad. I think this is redeemable. I think he can come back from this, and I hope he comes back from this. I want to see him succeed, as I want to see every person succeed in this world. Just stop doing what you're doing. Didn't really think about that one, did you?